doing? We're in my kitchen. We are making potato leek soup today. You want to know how much potato leek soup we're making? Hang on. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. We are making this much potato leek soup today. That's almost a 5-gallon bucket. So I have 3 full totes of leeks, give or take about 50 pounds. We're not going to use them all. And I've got Yukon Golds in my basement that I grew in my own garden. We're going to use those. I have 6 or 8 cartons of cream in my fridge. I have pounds of butter, and we're just going to fire this up. So I'm going to skip a few steps to make this video a lot shorter. With the leeks, so these just got picked out of my garden. I just got home. Okay, so just to explain what we're doing, we're going to cut the roots off. We're going to take off the bad shitty leaves on the outside, and we're going to take the outer liner off until we get down to the nice clean leeks. We're going to cut the bad tips off. Then we're going to slice up those leeks into about 1/2 inch in length. We're going to throw them in this big old pot right here with, I don't know, like 4 pounds of butter or something. This is not going to be a calorie-wise meal. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a stick-to-your-ribs meal. There's going to be 10% cream and many pounds of butter in here. So, and I figure 10 or 15 pounds of leeks, depending on what it takes to fill that pot. And then I'm going to do probably 10 to 15 pounds of potatoes. I'm just going to kind of wing it and see how volume stacks up. I'm not even weighing it. You'll kind of get an idea as to volume as we go. So let's get this going. It's 2:30 Sunday afternoon, and I've been at the garden all morning. You guys want to see what I harvested in my garden? So this is the small tote of leeks, okay? Hey Thor, say hi. That's Thor. He's a superstar. And then we have these. This bin is, I don't know, give or take 20 pounds. This is maybe 15 pounds. So leeks, the ones I showed you. This whole bin of peppers. I picked all of the dried beans off the plants. Underneath those beans, we have Alma paprika peppers. And over here, we have a whole bunch of jalapenos. So that's kind of how I spent my morning at the garden. So let's get this recipe going. A quick overview of the process here. We'll just make this quick. So leeks, roots are still on. We're just going to chop the bottom off into the yuck bucket. Peel the outer layers off till we get down to a nice, see, nice and clean. And then we're going to come up to the top, cut the crap off, and any damage on any of the fronds like this with bug damage, we're just going to come right down to the stalk, tear it off like that. Everything else looks nice. Maybe not that one. Okay, so here's our leek. Hang on. There's our leek. Show you the rest. Down to the top. That's going to go right into the sink, and we're going to wash them. And the reason is, guys, if you haven't grown leeks before, is, look. Okay, see? You're going to want to get in there in the water, okay? Leeks, see, look at what I'm saying. Okay? You're going to want to wash your leeks very well, or you're going to get this goop in your food. Do you want that goop in your food? No, you don't. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let these sit in the sink, and as I take each one out, I'm going to push it back and forth in the water this way, and that's going to flush water into here and clean out all of this goop. Okay, we good? Okay, I'll get back to you when all the leeks are done. So while I've been cutting and washing leeks, I've thrown 3 pounds of butter in this pot because the butter was in my freezer. So That butter is starting to melt down. It's just on a low heat here. So that, because I don't want to brown the butter. I just want it to slowly melt. So I've filled up the sink. Hang on a sec here. A sec. Hold on. I've got my phone plugged in because I've been filming content all friggin' day, guys. All day I've been filming content. And look at this. See all that? I just washed my floors last night, and that is all mud from those roots. Freshly washed floor, and they're thrashed. So I have a sink. I don't know how many pounds of leeks are in here, but the sink is getting pretty full, and I'm having trouble washing them now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the water. I mean, you can see. Hang on, let me turn my tap on, or my light on. Look at the grossness in that water. You see it? There. Okay. So what I'm going to do, and all that was on your leeks. This is why you got to wash your leeks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a big bowl. I'm going to put the leeks in the bowl this way. So the water will drain out of these fronds. I'm going to rinse out my sink. I'm going to throw the leeks back into the sink, and I'm just going to give them another rinse, because you can bet that all that muck that's floating around in the bottom of that sink there, all that grossness is also sitting on those leeks. So I'm just going to wash them a second time. Make sure they're clean, because a lot of that goop that's on those leeks is bug. So what I'm also doing right now is, so I've just moved the butter onto the back element. Those are going to get rinsed a second time. And I've started up the big pot. This is what I'm going to make the soup in. But I'm going to start heating up that pot because I got to boil potatoes in it. And this pot will probably take me, I don't know, 10 minutes or 15 minutes to get boiling. So that'll give me enough time to get the leeks washed, the leeks cut, and the leeks in that butter. And then whatever time I have left, I'm going to start peeling potatoes. I'm going to show you guys an easy way to cut your leeks. So you see how there's like a big fan, right? So if you cut it this way, you got to run your knife across all the way. But don't do that. Grab them, bunch them up, flip them 90 degrees, okay? So they're like that, okay? And then all you have to do is just hold it. Just like that. And then when you get closer to the end, just flip it around, because if you don't, that end will just sort of pop right out. Okay, then just cut that end down like that. Done. Wash, rinse, repeat. I still have this much leeks in the bowl. Here's the leeks I've already cut up, and I'm starting to run out of butter in there to wilt these down. So we're throwing in another pound salted. That'll be 4 pounds of butter in that. Okay, so here's the Yukon Golds. Some of them have a little bit of green on it, but I'm gonna, this is not helping me, bud. Okay, this is not helping the video. Hi, say hi. Say hi to the camera, okay? There. There, hi, that's Thor, yeah, internet superstar. All right, so there's about 25 pounds, give or take, of potatoes in this wooden crate. This is how I store my potatoes for the winter. These crates are what you buy your grapes in to make wine. Sorry, the camera keeps moving, guys. My dog keeps bumping me. So these are Yukon Golds. Grew these in the garden. So I'm going to start peeling these. I'm probably not going to peel these little ones because they're a big waste of time. So I'm going to start working my way through these bigger ones. Get out of there. And I've got, here is the leeks. They're all chopped up. All the leeks you saw, they're in here, softening down in 4 pounds of salted butter. I guess I can turn that right down. We're just trying to wilt these down, right? How good does that look? Man, my kitchen smells so good already. Okay, so we've got that going. We have the big pot, and we're gonna cook the potatoes in here. And the goal here is we're gonna cook the potatoes we're going to take half of the potatoes out and we're going to mash them. We're going to keep the other half separate in chunks. I'm going to pour out probably about half of the water in here and down the drain, and I'm going to keep the other half of the bottom of the pot in a bowl, or I may end up just using that pot when I just combine them. And that way, if I need extra liquid in here, I'll have all of that potato water from the bottom of the pot that I can just kind of bump up the volume with. Instead of just adding plain old water, I'll just use the water from the tap. So I'm just going to get to peeling a whole buttload of potatoes now. We got all the potatoes cut. There's, I don't even know what's here. Somewhere 8-9 pounds, something like that. Because that's all the potatoes. Thor, come on. That's all the potatoes we have left in the bin, and they're just getting pretty tiny. So, so now we're just going to take those and dump those right in a big pot of boiling water. So the potatoes are cooked. We got some good starchy water in there. The leeks are just simmering away, getting soft. We're actually going to turn that off. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move this pot to here, and I'm just going to start, I'm going to take half the potatoes out and put them in one bowl, and then the other half of the potatoes are going to go in the other bowl, and I'm going to mash those and not mash those. So we're just mashing them. No milk, no butter, no nothing. We're just going to mash them down, and then we're going to add them back into the pot that's right here with the rest of the unmashed potatoes. And the reason why I cut the potatoes into a little bit larger size than you're going to want on your spoon when you're eating this, because you kind of want to be able to get it all fitting on one spoon, is that I know that once I combine everything back in the pot and then I start adding the cream and everything else back into it, I'm going to have to stir it. And as I stir it, I know that those larger pieces of potatoes are going to get broken down and end up in smaller pieces of potatoes. So just going to give this a mash like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Here's the other pot. We're just going to add them back together. Just like that. And then put the camera here. In the pot is the last little bit of starchy potato water, and we're going to save that because that's Flavor Town right there. And then we're gonna, so the element is still on and hot. Don't even bother turning it down. Let's see. All right. Now we're going to put these potatoes back in the big pot. Alrighty, we got the potatoes back in the pot. Oh, hang on. Let's get that back here. Turn that up a little bit so you guys can see a little better. Now we are going to take this beautiful pot of leeks and 4 pounds of butter. We're going to pour that right into there, just like that. And then scrape out all that yummy goodness, because we ain't wasting all that right there, are we? Hell no, we're not. You know what else we could do? we are going to take some of that delicious potato water and put it in here and give this thing a little bit of a rinse out. Just like that. There. Now we're not wasting nothing. Pour that in there. Now we can get rid of the big bowls and the big pots. We don't need those anymore right now. So this is what we're looking at. Here's the leeks. Potatoes are all up in the bottom. Okay. Get that back on the stove. Just give that a bit of a mix. Okay. Now, in here, okay, I have 3 chicken bouillon stock OXO cubes, and I dissolved that in hot water. Okay, we're gonna put that right in there. Like that. You can already hear the soup. The soup's already bubbling. Look at that. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But we're going to turn that down because we don't want nothing burning. So we turn that down to a medium. Okay. Now, we're going to take ground black pepper. And we are just going to eyeball we've got about 5 tablespoons of black pepper. We're going to take pink Himalayan rock salt. If you guys are not using Himalayan rock salt in your kitchens yet, I highly suggest you do. Now, for the salt, I'm going to pour it in my hand because if this gets overly salty, it's just going to be wrecked, right? So, we're going to go with about that much. Give that a stir. Like that. And then I need coffee for the morning. Get that out of the way. 1 cream. 2 creams, 3 creams, 4, 5, 6 creams. I'm going to dump 6 liters of cream in there. So now there's a couple of ways you can go with this. You can bring all this back up to temperature, simmer it for a little while, let all the flavors combine, reduce it a little bit by boiling out some of the water in that cream, right? Or you can bring it up to temperature, and if you want to thicken it up without losing much of this volume, because you know we've got 4+ gallons of soup in here, you can add some flour, because the cream and the butter in here mixed with the flour will make a roux, and that's how you start to thicken up a gravy, right? And the flour will just cook down in here a little bit, and that will thicken that right up. If you're gonna do that, mix flour with cold water in a bowl or a cup, and then add some, and once you get this hot again, add some and stir it and see if it's thick enough, and if not, add a little more and a little more and a little more. Don't go overboard, because if you put too much flour in here, then it's gonna thicken right up and get way too thick. Another thing you could do is you could mix cornstarch with water and add that into here, and that will also thicken it. So you have options, or like I said, you could just reduce this down a little bit and evaporate some of the water that's in the pot. The tricky part here is, now that this is turned into a cream soup, if you heat this too hot, you risk the chance of it starting to scald on the bottom. And if it scalds on the bottom, it's going to change the flavor, right? So don't crank your heat up. It might take a little while now to come back up to temperature. You may want to have your cream at room temperature before you put it in. Like this is bath temperature water right now. Look at that, right? It's bath temperature. It's not going to take a long time to come up to temperature, but since I don't have a lid for this pot, it's going to take a little while longer than I planned. So I'm just going to let, oh, that tastes so good already. Okay, so, and also I have that potato starch water over the side, so I don't think I'm going to add that because I don't want to have to literally just reduce all the water that I add from the potatoes out of here, because then I'm just kind of fighting the process. So I'm going to get rid of that potato starch water and clean up, and then we're just going to let this simmer for a little bit. I'm sorry if this has taken a long time for this video, guys. Thanks a lot for sticking by if you've made it this far. I've really tried to cut back on the length of the video because I know it's going to be a long one. So I love y'all. Thanks for sticking around. We're not done yet, folks. So it's the next day, and I've already transferred some of the soup from here into Ziploc bags, because that's how I store it in the freezer, because that large pot you saw it in does not fit in my fridge. Plus the pot weighed like 40 pounds. So I cooled it down outside on my balcony overnight, and then I transferred some to bags when it was cold. And then, so this is what I've got left. Look at that. That's like stick to your ribs potato leek soup. So I'll show you guys how I put this stuff away. Check this out. You get your large Ziploc bags. There's my hand, you know, they're the big size bags. Okay. I'll show you. And all I do, get a baking sheet, keeps your counters clean. Open up your bag. Figure out how many scoops you need for one meal. And for us, it's 7 scoops. So you just give the soup a stir. And I'm just going to load 7 scoops. Like that. Five. So you just load up your bag like that. And then all I do is I just roll it down to squeeze all the air out. Zip it up. And then I'll just stick it on the top with the other one, right? And now you see how they're nice and flat? So I'll put these in my freezer, in my deep freezer, flat. And they'll all just freeze like stacks of pancakes. And that's all there is to it. And I'll date these. I'll get my Sharpie marker out and I'll date the bags. So, well guys, hope you like the process of this, and you should definitely be growing some leeks and some potatoes so you can do this, because I have 5 bags downstairs. We've got 2 on here, and we still have all that in the pot. I don't know. I'll be able to pull out another, I don't know, 4 bags or something. So there we go. Potato leek soup. If you guys find value in this content, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And give me a big thumbs up, because this was a really big project. And hope you guys have an awesome night. And this is why, like I say, we grow good food. Okay, guys. See ya.